Evolution.
I'll have to read the context in which that statement was made.
I think you need to read that. I think evolution is a carefully protected religion, just like communism is a carefully protected ideology in some countries. And if you speak out against communism in certain countries, or Islam is a carefully protected ideology in some countries, evolution is a carefully protected ideology here in America.
I don't think so.
I know you don't, but we're going to get you to think that when it's over with.
The reason I don't think so, actually, is reinforced by my trip to Canada, because I met quite a few of these people that you think are part of this conspiracy, and I did not feel any conspiracy from them at all. I did not feel like they were protecting some sacred thing.
Okay. Well, and they may honestly...
These are nice people that don't, hide things. They're very open about what they think, believe, and think they have evidence for. When I went to McWasha, we actually met the people that take care of the fossils they find there at the beach and on the split edge of the Simonian rock. And it's kind of a joke. I asked one of the technicians, like, where do you keep the mammals? He just laughed. They don't have it. There aren't any there.
That's very possible. I don't argue that.
Why would that be? This thing is miles long. It's several hundred feet thick. I don't understand why there wouldn't be any out-of-place fossils in there.
Well, first place, there are out-of-place fossils found all over the world in other places.
Show me some. I want to see them. I want to go dig them up myself and see it.
Well,
I will go out of my way to go find them.
Okay, well, you can get a Grand Canyon, a tribute to or a monument to the flood. That's 5 PhD geologists who aren't trying to form some type of conspiracy. We'll show you on camera that type of stuff, and you can go look at it yourself.
I want to know locations to go to myself.
Then get
Grand
the video.
Canyon is 277 miles long. Get the video, call them up and ask them, say, I want to go on a raft trip and I want to find this spot. Go dig
Secondly, it's a Grand Canyon, a monument to the flood. Okay. Something like that. Secondly, the creation article regarding the Ediacaran fossil found in wherever it was. Can't remember the town or whatever. It's on Answers in Genesis website, published December 21st, 2004 by Carl Wieland, based upon an ABC story. So the American Broadcast, whatever ABC is an acronym for, based on something they found and that they've confirmed and that their researchers have been working on and scientists have also agreed upon. It's hailed as an evolutionary sensation. So, I mean, this stuff, it's not hard to find information regarding out-of-place fossils.
If that's the case, then it should be easy to find a place where I can go to dig it up myself, and then I'll be famous for being the first person to blow it open.
All right, well,
you won't blow it open. That's what.
Write this phone number down, Jared. The Idaho State Historical Society in Boise, Idaho.
Idaho State Historical.
Idaho State Historical Society. They have a museum there. Their phone number is 208-334-2120. They have in their collection, that's 208-334-2120. They'd still be open now, I don't. They have in their collection a clay doll, about 1.5 inches long. I've got a picture of me holding it in my hand when I was there back in the year 2000. This was found by a well driller who was drilling a well. He was 320 feet, 100 meters below the surface, catching everything coming up out of his drill, which they always do to tell what kind of rock they're going through.
Is this like a core that they were taking?
No, this was, I don't know what type of, no, they were core samples. This was drill tailings, coming out. But the way they pump water down the drill shaft, the shaft pipe, the drill stem, forces the tailings up as they drill out. I've drilled a couple of wells before. And so they know what they're going through. And here they get this little 1.5 inch long clay doll, obviously a man-made object.
What kind of object?
It's a doll, D-O-L-L, like a little kid would make out of clay.
Oh, okay.
It's a man-made object. It's real clear.
The problem, though, a lot of evolutionists, unless it's found in situ, and unless they see it in the rock itself, they won't believe anybody.
Yeah, pretty much, Jonathan. That's what I was trying to say before, is I want to see it in the rock.
Exactly. So anything that has been found throughout the past and excavated and actually extracted is not good enough for you, is it?
They'd have to go down.
It might be if there were a really convincing story behind it and there was no sign of fishiness.
Well, I went there and talked to the people at the museum. I had to ask especially to see it because they don't leave it out on display. I think it is a little embarrassing to those who believe the Earth is billions of years old because this rock layer was supposed to be 12 million years old that they were drilling into. Now, this happened in 1889. If you look at the old Smithsonian magazines from the 1880s, 1890s, or even the old Scientific American magazines, hundreds and hundreds of articles were published about these type of things before the evolution theory became, so predominant in America. Have you ever heard of William Corliss? He has, in Glen Arm, Maryland, Source Book Project, I think is the name. He has written a whole series of books, probably 10 huge books, like 2 inches thick. I'm in my library now. I'll try to find one. I got one. Here we go. Unknown Earth, I'm holding in my hand. It's called the Handbook of Geologic Enigmas, 1980, published by William Corliss, Corliss. Now, the Source Book Project in Glen Arm, Maryland. They have published an entire series of books, biological enigmas, geological enigmas, out-of-place artifacts, OOP art type stuff. All right, welcome back, folks, to the final segment of the Creation Science Hour and a Half. Kent Hovind and Jonathan Sampson live July 28th of 05, and we believe the Bible is true and evolution theory is dumb. And we take calls at 850-479-DINO. Jared, I found the website for the Source Book Project. It's science-frontiers.com.
What is it for?
This is for geologic anomalies and stuff like that, out-of-place artifacts. Hundreds of things were found and published in what you would consider reputable journals before evolution theory became very popular.
Okay, science-frontiers.com?
Yes. Yep.
I'll look it up. Okay, so I got that, the Holy Grail thing from Answers in Genesis, the Idaho State Historical Society, get that phone number you gave me, and Walt Brown, right?
And when you get done studying all this, you get done climbing the mountain of truth, you're going to find we've been there waiting for you.
There's also the Grand Canyon Monument to the Flood, where they actually have, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 PhD geologists sit down on camera, show you fossils in situ, and explain the stratus. The
bigger picture we have to look at is none of the fossils matter because they don't. You can't prove they had any kids. Okay, so from a real logical perspective, evolution could never be proven from the fossil record. There is no fossil record. There's a bunch of bones in the dirt. It's our interpretation.
You can't prove anything in science as you can prove things in math. I don't even know why you keep an argument.
Well, I disagree. I don't know why they say you can't prove things in science. I think you can, but
give me an example of something you can prove in science.
I think
a theory.
I think we can prove that gravity works and has a certain rate. There are certain laws about gravity, like the inverse square law, etc.
I think we could probably prove that Jared is a male.
I guess that depends. Well, anyway, that depends on how you define it. What if I turned out to be,
transvestite,
my chromosomes or something?
Okay. Well, I'm not going to check. Go ahead, Jared. What's your
like XY female? That's what
okay.
I was thinking of. But anyway, the point is with gravity. How could you ever prove that gravity will always work? How do you know that tomorrow that gravity will work according to the inverse square law?
Well, how do you prove 2 + 2 is always going to be 4?
I can prove that with logic.
I can prove gravity works with logic. It's worked everywhere we've seen it?
No, you can't. That's based on evidence. You can't prove that tomorrow gravity will follow that. 2 + 2 will always be 4 because it follows from the nature of reason and logic itself. There's no empirical evidence necessary.
Well, I think most thinking people would disagree with you.
Most thinking people don't know what they're talking about, Kent.
But you do.
Especially when it comes to mathematics.
Okay.